What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sarah from Sarah's Styles here. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a wonderful week off. I took last Monday off. My family had the week off. My husband, as well as my children, off of school. And I took a week off, y'all. It was glorious. I still did packages. I answered questions if they needed to be answered, and I sent offers. But other than that, I was off. I did no sourcing. I did no YouTube videos, no filming. YouTube videos still came out because I scheduled them ahead. But I didn't work. I sent out offers and I did packages, and it was amazing. I felt so refreshed. So I hope that you guys got some kind of break as well. I will link a video maybe after this, or you can see it's on my top viewed videos, like my secret to making a full-time on a part-time. I'll link it in the description down below, but kind of how I use this banking term to banking video, sorry, in description. So I'll do that after the live. So after this goes live in the pre-recording, I'll come back. But essentially what I did, I still listed every single day. So I take that back. I did list every single day, but everything was already drafted. So it takes me 2 seconds to go ahead and list. I have items set up photographed. I do have a VA. I have that in my processes playlist. I have my photography process as well as my VA process and then my shipping process. But I get ahead, and that's actually one of the questions that was asked today on my Instagram. So I'll get a little bit more ahead of in it, but I do bank. I bank items so that I can list every single day. I woke up first thing in the morning, listed 12 items. It takes me about 10 minutes. They're already in the drafts. I just review them quickly and hit list. So I list every single day in 10 minutes. I shipped whatever needed to be shifted, and then I sent offers as needed. That's all I did. I had the time off. We spent a lot of time. We went up to the mountains and went tubing. Although there's not really a lot of snow here. It's 74 in Colorado still. Yay, global warming. I kind of enjoy it, but it would be nice to be December and have some snow. We, got together with family for Thanksgiving. Every year we go down to, I see Ginger Marvin is here. Kathy, I don't know if you guys take the kids to the North Pole, but every Black Friday, we take the kids down, all the cousins, grandparents, and we go down to the North Pole. It's like a amusement park, obviously Christmas themed amusement park. So we did that this year. Last year it was closed down. So that was the only year that we hadn't done it. But that was kind of my Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all had a wonderful week. Today's live is a Q&A. I did allow people to ask questions on my Instagram in the past day. So those questions are going to get answered first. If you guys are joining now, go ahead and drop those questions that you do have so I can try and get to them before the end of this live. If you guys do have, or feel free to give your input to the question as well. Obviously, I'm on the live, but this is collaborative. Everyone has a different opinion and a reason for things. So definitely, as I ask these questions, let me know your thoughts and your perspective on them as well. Let me hop into the chat, and then we'll go ahead and get in on the Q&A. Actually, I do have one announcement to make. So I have been doing lives every Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard for the past couple months. I'm taking December off. This last week, I really enjoy spending the time with my family, and they're going to be off 2 weeks in December. The kids are going to be off. My husband's off one of those weeks, and it gets really crazy. And then we do a lot of activities, and I want to really soak it up and enjoy it with the kids. I'm realizing more and more they get so big so quickly. So I am taking time off of YouTube lives. I will still continue to have some YouTube content. I'm getting a little bit more into shorts. I think those are kind of fun, easy ways to get quick tips out there. So let me know what you guys think of these shorts, but I'll still do some of the longer YouTube videos as well. So like I said, Kathy is here. If you guys don't follow Ginger Marvin, Kathy and her husband, Chris, definitely like daily videos, what sold and haul videos. Definitely. Have you ever been punched in the face by Oh, here's a question. I'll answer this one, but I'm taking other questions at the end. Have you ever been punched in the face by a world heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson? I have not. Cannot say that I have. Anna is here. Anna, I actually so follow me and see how it goes. Anna does really well with selling Victoria's Secret pink. I did like a mentorship group and she was in it. And she kind of taught us about things to look for, and it's gonna sell lower price, right? Like you're not gonna get a $100 average sale price on Victoria's Secret pink. But from what Anna was telling me, if you pick up the right pieces, you can have a reasonable $20-$25 average sale price with a high sell-through rate. So I am slowly starting to learn a little bit more pink, slowly starting to pick up a little bit more Victoria's Secret. So make sure to subscribe and watch my videos because I share what my top brands were for the month and what's actual items that sold. So I'm hoping that does make it there. I did list a Victoria's Secret gold label. So gold is like their vintage label. And Anna, correct me if I'm wrong because you know way more than I do. But their gold label is like their vintage label, and it's kind of on point right now. It tends to be really trendy. I talked to a couple vintage sellers about it, and it's hit or miss on what piece is really going high and fast. But anyway, I listed this like silk slip, found it at the bin, so it probably cost me like $1, right? And I listed it on eBay, and within an hour or two, it sold full price with a coupon. So I have a $10 off coupon, $50 or more. It sold full price within an hour or two. So then I was like playing, I think we had this on one of my lives previous. Did I price it too low? But you know, at the end of the day, it sold and I made money on of it. So how do you not do how do you not get distracted when trying to get ahead? That is my biggest problem. I can't seem to get my bank going. Distracted as in, because I know that you like to get home and list it, right? So it is definitely a mindset. I'm answering questions, guys. I'm going to answer Kathy's question and then I will get to the Instagram questions. But we were talking about banking. So pre-COVID, I did not have backstock. I didn't want to get quote unquote a death pile. And so whatever I purchased, I had to have it listed before I allowed myself to go shopping again. Well, then COVID hit and I went like 2 months without being able to list any new inventory because I didn't have anything. So I kind of had to change my mindset. And it is really hard to get into the mindset of not wanting to list things right away. And hey, if I have it, I need to list it. I need to get it going. And I kind of had to change it's definitely a mindset thing to be able to get ahead, to be able to not just, I have it now, I want to list it now. But I started thinking of it less of a item that needs to be listed and an item that I need to make money on as for a time, right? So now I look at my time instead of saying, hey, I'm going to take 70 photos this week of items because that's how many items I'm listing. I say I am going to spend 3 hours this week photographing. And I know for me in 3 hours, I can probably photograph, 80 to 100 items, depending on what kind of items that I'm listing. And then that allows me to get ahead because I'm doing it based on time. So I allot myself just a little bit more time. I say, hey, my kids I have a kid in preschool, so I get through 2.5 hours, but I try and get a workout in during that time as well. So I have about 2 hours of work time. And I say, hey, today's photograph day. I take as many photos as I can in those 2 hours. Those photographs get sent to my VA and then they get drafted. So instead of saying, hey, I want to list 70 items this week, it's, hey, I'm going to spend 2 hours photographing. I'm going to spend 4 hours listing. I'm going to spend 4 hours sourcing and kind of turning it into, this is when I change my model into an hourly rate. How much do I want to make an hour? I only want to spend 10 hours a week or whatever your numbers are. I only want to spend 10 hours a week working. This is how much money I want to make. I want to make $50 an hour. This is how many items I need to sell to get there. And then how many do you have to do? And so if you are currently listing 70 items, set your hours to where it's just slightly over as many as you are currently listing to slowly get a bank. I will say that it takes time to build up a bank. At first it's going to be, you're going to have 2 extra items. And then next week that'll be 4 extra items. And then the following week, that'll be 1 full day of extra items, right? So eventually it will start to add up. Kathy is saying, we haven't been to the North Pole for like 6 years, but your pics made me want to take the kids now that they're old enough to enjoy it. Yes, definitely. Our kids, Kathy and I have very similar age kids, and it's definitely a good age to take them. we go with cousins every single year. So I have had them as babies in a carrier, not nearly as enjoyable. To my 16-year-old who he's special needs, so he's delayed. But he still really enjoys it. And it's nice because the older cousins can now ride with the little cousins and I don't have to ride the rides. All right. So let's see. Hey, happy Monday. Thanks for joining so much, Sarah. Anna's saying, yes, number one brand I've sold since 2018. So maybe once I start doing my lives again, I may have Anna come on. She had like a nice little PowerPoint and I learned a lot about pink. I always passed it over. I'm also trying to get into bras. And I know Kathy has mentioned bras before and Anna, with Victoria's Secrets. I'm running out of space. Bras at the bins are cheap and they don't take up very much space. So I'm trying to learn bras to see if I can't, keep the momentum going because I can have, 2 or 3 bras in the place of a pair of jeans, which if I can sell them for $20, $30, that's actually going to increase my revenue. Here we go. Anna's tips for Victoria's Secrets and pink. All the sparkles, logos, and girly stuff does well. I also remember Anna saying, think Mean Girls. So like if the Mean Girls Y2K is really big right now, if the Mean Girls were to have worn it, that might also do well as well. Yes, gold is vintage and people love it. I usually list those slips 30 to 40 and take offers. Okay, so I listed it. I think I listed it around 50 maybe. And then it was a $10 off coupon. I think they ended up paying, or maybe it was on sale. I don't know. I think they ended up paying like 35 to 40. So it seems like I did okay. Hello from Florida. Sorry, that word was worded terribly. No worries. Always happy to share my PowerPoint. All right, so let's get into the questions. Like I said, this is a Q&A. I did take questions on my Instagram first, so I'm going to answer those first. Feel free to drop notes in and let me know your guys' perspective on it. Let's do a giveaway. Who wants to do a giveaway? I will give away a dashboard. Let me know your guys' biggest sale of the day. Drop those this way in the live chat right now. Let me know your biggest sale for the week. It could be your fastest sale, your biggest flip, your highest profit, whatever you were most excited about. Let me know your sale and I will pick a winner at the end of the show and give away a free dashboard. All right, so let's get into it. First question is, what is the percentage eBay takes from your item? I'm assuming they're talking fees. This is very complex, very, very complex. I did a little bit of homework and linked it down below, eBay's link to their fee structure. So and then I also linked, I have an eBay video. It's like 5 minutes, but it walks through how to tell what eBay is taking from what fees they're taking from you, because it's going to differ for everyone. And here's a very quick overview, but I go more in detail into that video that I linked below. You guys can watch after this video, this live. But essentially, every category has a different fee percentage, valuation fee. So like clothing, they just changed it. So it either used to be 12 and now it went up to 13%, or it was 13% and it went up to 14, but it's right around there, percent. So they take that off of and it includes your gross. So that is off of the item sold for, as well as shipping. A lot of people complain about that. It is what it is. It's off of the gross number. But then when it gets a little bit complex, so that's going to depend on what category you sell in, but it gets a bit more complex because there's a couple things that can move that number. You can sign up and do eBay promoted listings. And this essentially is paying to promote your items on eBay. And when the item sells via promoted listings, that percent that you paid eBay to promote it is also part of the fee. But that fee is only taken off the listing if it's sold via that way. They have also come out with promoted listing beta advance, a promoted listing advance beta. I don't know, whichever way that is, which is you are paying per click. So you're going to get some money taken off from that as well. And then you can also, I am a top rated seller plus, which means, and I've done videos on this on my eBay tutorial videos. There's a video on a return video that kind of talks a little bit about this. But if you're an eBay a top rated seller plus, you get a 10% fee off of your valuation fee. So if you like, for me, it's 13%. I'm top rated seller plus because I have free returns, which means I accept returns, but then I also pay for the shipping back to me. I have fast shipping. There's a couple different, I don't remember all the metrics, but there's a couple different metrics that you have to hit. And if you meet those metrics, you get a little thing that says, hey, you're top rated seller plus, which means to the buyer, hey, this is a good seller and you can really trust them and eBay's going to back them. It also gives you added protection. I recently had a return. They tried to return it like 90 days. It's 30-day return on eBay. They tried to return it 90 days. I said, no, you can't do that. They opened a claim with their credit card, and eBay backed me this whole time and said, hey, we will back you with this. This is not allowed. It was a new with tag item. It was like a $400 item. eBay backed me the whole time. I've had other returns where the credit card has, and that one ended up, the credit card denied it, but I have had other ones where the credit card has approved it and eBay said, hey, you're a top rated seller plus seller. This added protection, you offer returns, we will go ahead and refund you as well. That was not having to do with the fees, but that is a reason to become a top rated seller plus. That gives you an additional 10% off of your percent. So not 10% off of your total, but 10% off of the 12% fee or the 20% fee, depending on what category you're in. And then you also have shipping fees, or not shipping fees. You also have, if you pay for a store, you have store fees. It gets very, very complex, and it's going to depend on each person. So the video link down below, I go through and show you where in your eBay store to figure out how to figure out what your fees are, where it shows you your fees split out and what the fees actually mean and how to read the charts and graphs and numbers. So quick explanation, but it is very complex. Let's take a look at some quick reminder. If you guys are jumping on, I am doing a giveaway for a dashboard. Let me know in the chat what your best sale this week was. Doesn't have to be highest sale. It can be your fastest flip, or it can be, hey, I've had this for 5 years and I was so excited to see it go. Let's see. Alexander McQueen stocking sold for $100 within 6 hours of listing them. That's amazing. I saw collectibles. I flipped a silent film collection purchase for $6, flipped for $89. Ooh, that sounds cool. Like, I would assume it's a vintage. Oh, that's really cool. I would never know to pick that stuff up. Biggest sale this week was a pair of boots I got for free. Love these sales. Sold today on eBay for $60. Congrats. All profit right there, right? Minus fees and stuff. Hi, Sarah. I'm new to your channel. This is my first live. I'm going to finally make jump to eBay. Yes, I'm scared. However, I signed up, opened a store. It is scary. It's a lot. But once you learn eBay more and more, all of the scary things start to become really exciting things, because all of these tools and analytics and things that they have are actually to help you sell better. Stick with it. It is a long game. eBay is a marathon, not a sprint. It took me about 8 months of consistent listing to be able to get a daily volume sales that I'm at now. So definitely stick with it. I have an eBay tutorial playlist that'll kind of walk you through, here's how you set up a sale, here's how you do promoted listings, here's how you figure out your fees. So definitely check that one out. I did a mentorship with Chris at a daily refinement. We met every week and then eventually every month for 6 months. And I went from 14 sales on eBay to 150 sales on eBay a month. And that's step by step. Here's what you do, Sarah. Go, this is your homework for this week. This is what you should do. Talking about things that I was running into. So that's definitely a great tool if you're looking to increase your sales, or if you're just starting as well. Best sale was an equipment red silk blouse. Purchased for $5 and sold for $75. An exciting flip was a costume jewelry set of a necklace and earrings that were free to me. Lots of free stuff. I love it. Do you guys if you don't follow El Ducho Denali, she mentioned she was doing some winter cleaning and was like, is that a thing? And our house, it's totally a thing, because we get ready, like we kind of clean out after Christmas, before or after around Christmas. And I noticed thrifting in January is lit. Like, so I definitely think it is a thing. And she got this cleaning out her closet as well. People are giving stuff away. Sold on Posh for $24 plus full shipping. I priced higher so I could offers, and they just bought it flat out. I love flat out buys. Like that in and of itself is something to get excited about. All right, next question is, and you guys answer this one. This is a great one for everyone in the chat to answer as well. Any tips and tricks for those just getting into reselling? So I would say take it slow, definitely. Start if you're like brand new, start with stuff that you have in your house or stuff that you know. I do women's clothing, shoes, and purses because I've spent 37 years learning it. I know styles, I know brands, I know, and I also did upcycle. So, and so sewing and women's clothing. And so I know names of dresses, I know names and styles of pants and shoes. And so start with something definitely if you're completely brand new, and get comfortable with listing and running sales and and SEOs and all of the intricacies behind that. If you're not quite that new and you've kind of done that a little bit and you want to take it up a step, I would definitely say make sure to look at comps. Comps don't necessarily drive things, but as you're learning brands, it's going to help you decide if it's something that's worth it for you to buy or not. Track and manage your data. It's a great habit to get into when you're in the beginning, going in there. And you guys, if you follow my channel, you see all these data and analytics. Those drive my decisions. I've said time and time again, I'm not a great reseller. I know numbers and data. I look at charts and graphs, and those drive my decisions. So get used to tracking and managing your data and learning how to read those, whether it's in my dashboard or on eBay. Poshmark has some charts and graphs now. However, I did a video on why I'm not using them. So check that video out on things to be cautious with Poshmark's new data and analytics. But really get comfortable with all of that. Start off slow. Don't get, what's the right word? Don't buy things just for the brand. There's a lot that goes behind it. The style, if it's in current style, fabrics, and all of that. Don't do just brand. Let me know in the chat, your guys, if you have tips and tricks for someone who's just starting out reselling. All right. So the next question is: what are your average cost of goods for items that you pick up? And y'all know I can show you exactly what my cost of goods are. Let me pull up my dashboard for you. I think this is it. Let's see. I hope you guys can see that. Let me see. Okay, so that is brand. So look at that in a minute. But my average cost of goods. So we can scroll up down here. We are at the end of November. So those of you who are following me waiting for my video to know if I hit my goal for November, I did. There's a couple weeks or a couple days left. This is actually updated on Friday, so this doesn't include the weekend. I did hit my goal, but my average cost of goods for November is $7.70. This is because I do bins, thrift store, and liquidation. Liquidation absolutely drives that up. You spend anywhere between 20, you can spend upwards of $50, $100 depending on what you're buying. My average cost of goods, we'll look at it for liquidation for the year. Let's scroll down. Liquidation average cost of goods. So one pallet, an average $12, $13, $8. So you can see that's why it's driving it up. My bins average cost of goods is $2.26. This is for the entire year we're looking at now. Thrift store tends to be more around $5 or $6. So a lower average or lower cost of goods, you're more of a bin shopper, you're getting items for free. Liquidation, and this is why be cautious when your people are sharing gross numbers with you. You're doing liquidation, the profit may not be there. You can spend $20 on an item. There's quite a few items that I have actually lost money on because I did it in liquidation. You're spending $20 on an item and not making that up. If you guys are new to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you're just hopping onto this live, I am doing a giveaway of a dashboard. Charts that we were just looking at are in the dashboard. You guys can have access to those charts and make educated strategic decisions for reselling based off of your numbers and data. If you want to be entered in for that dashboard, let me know what your best sale is of the week. All right. So the next question is, Oh, I think we have a couple people telling us yes. So we have a couple of people giving us some tips for new resellers. It's great that MP managed payments are now doing payouts on weekends. So at least I get the money on Monday. Now that is if you have daily payouts. Whew. So that's an eBay thing. They just went to manage payments and you can decide how often you want to get paid. I honestly do weekly from a bookkeeping standpoint. It's just easier to do one transaction instead of multiple. I'm seeing so many glitches on eBay. Yes. I had some people tell me there was glitches with coupons this weekend. Uh, Thanks to the 5 resellers, I was so excited to actually get to meet them in person recently. I met up with them and did some shopping. Their haul for it is on their channel when they came to the Denver bins. Definitely make sure to head on over and follow the 5 resellers. A tip is don't do private consignment. It seems cool because free inventory, but the analytics of it all gets crazy, especially with more than one client. I don't mean flip, more like for friends. And I'll speak to this a little bit. I've done consignment for my brother-in-law. So it was very casual. He has been a reseller for like 13, 14 years. He was kind of burned out from the listing and dealing with shipping and eBay and stuff, but he still enjoys shopping. He's been doing it for 13 years. His average sale price is like $75 or something. So last year during COVID, when I couldn't source really because things were shut down, I had kids at home, I was remote learning, I did consignment with him. I will say it does get a little challenging because it is an extra. You have to track and manage all of their information. So if you're not very organized and you don't enjoy that part of it, definitely I wouldn't do it. I am considering, I have had someone reach out to me asking if I do consignment. The times that I would consider doing consignment is if they have high average sale price. I wouldn't do consignment for $10 items, $20 items. I mean, the lowest is probably $50 because if you're making half of that, then it's $25 and it would be worth it for me, right? But I am obviously very organized in my processes and organized in my bookkeeping and tracking and managing. Um, Make sure, here's another tip. Make sure you comp sizing and clothing as well. I've had a very easy $5 to $10 difference in men's shirts, medium versus extra large or extra, extra large, or women's size 25 versus 32 jeans. And I would agree with that. I don't know men's very well. But I would speak to the women's, definitely the 32 jeans are probably going to sell much quicker. I say this all the time on my channel. There's just a larger population for it. So you're going to have, you're probably going to have less of that. It's going to be more in demand. Ideally, you can drive up the price a little bit, or at the very least, it's going to sell a lot quicker. Very good sales you're having, Sarah. So don't change anything that you're doing with your business currently. Boom. As I just talked about, maybe doing consignment. One of the reasons I'm considering doing consignment is one of the hardest parts of my business right now is sourcing. And I know that's what most people really enjoy. And I do enjoy it, but it's the only part of my business that I can really do without kids and that I have to leave the house to do. And finding that time is hard. I can usually find the time once a week, but to maintain the level of sales that I want and the inventory that I need, I'm really having to do it 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how good things are. And so having inventory come for me, I'm moving away from pallets. You could see my profit on pallets wasn't nearly as good. And here's something else with pallets, with the shortages everywhere, the pallets are getting more expensive for worse inventory, right? So last year when I got into it, they had so much extra inventory because no one was out shopping. They bought all of this stuff for the season and then no one was buying it because no one was shopping. Well, now we're in the opposite where there's shortages everywhere. So they don't really have a lot of overages. So it's driving up the prices on pallets and there's really not a lot out there. So I am trying to get away from that. I was using that to kind of supplement some of my thrifting. And so now I'm kind of thinking of creative other ways to do it. So we'll see. Better to buy it. My friend would sell me trash bags of clothes for $20. That's way better. So that's valid. So instead of consigning, especially if it's low items, I definitely tell people, hey, I always take donations. If you're willing to donate it, if it's people that I know and I know that they're going to give me items that I can actually sell, I would consider purchasing it as well. Tip for new seller is do not sell an iPhone on eBay. Yes. So this is a tip too for eBay sellers. If you're new to eBay or even Real talk, I got a Vero violation, complete accident. I know this one and it slipped by. Part of the struggle with having a VA. But there are certain things you can't sell on eBay, and there are certain, I have like a hair dangling on my neck. There's certain things you can't sell, and there's certain words that you can't use. One of them, and I know this, is Velcro. It is copyrighted. Unless it is actual Velcro product, you cannot use that word. You have to use like hook and loop. And I had an item that got slipped through. My VA made it. It slipped through, and I got a Vero violation for it. So if you get enough of those, you will get shut down. Ooh, that's a good point, Yvette. Larger sizes definitely do better for us in both men's and women's. Ooh, guys, I just sold $105 Johnny Was top that I listed this morning, and I got it at the bin. So exciting. Sorry. That's my best sale of the week, probably. I have sorcerers. Everything is sent to me in the mail. I'm working on that. It's the struggle with, I've tried this. I worked with Chris from a daily refinement. The struggle is like, I have someone right now in talks with, like, I have 500 items. I don't know what to do with it. And I tell them I'll buy it for thrift store prices, and they don't want to get rid of it. I can get more if I sell it. I'm like, okay, so go sell it. But that's a struggle that I'm having. I've been in talks with some people at the bins as well, that are there every day. Hey, this is not stuff that you sell, but you see it maybe. So I might be working on something like that, but it has to be something that is worth it for them as well as for me. So we'll see. Johnny is our favorite. Yes, I found 3 of them at the bins. Like this time at the bins was lit. It was actually an old bin. I got there early in the morning. And it was a bin that had been there since the day before. And I started going through it as they hadn't brought out a new bin. And like every bin, I was finding like amazing, like the 3 Johnny I think I found a bounce of Vince, I think, and every bin. And then I'd move to the next one and it was the same. And I was going around and around, and it like the whole thing was like this. And I actually was still going through it as I started taking it back. And I wanted to be like, no, like I still want to go through those because it was definitely lit. It was for sure multiple people. You can tell at the bins, right? If they do raw donations, you can tell it's one person's bag. And that's a tip. If you're new to reselling and you shop the bins, if you find a brand or something that you like, stay in that spot. It could be a raw donation, and you're likely going to find other brands around it. I've also learned a lot of new labels this way because I'm like, oh, there's Johnny and there's Vince, and a couple brands that I know, and then I see a bunch of other brands that I don't know around it but that look like they're good quality, and I'll pick them up because chances are if they're around other good quality, it all came from the same household who knew what they were doing or had a very healthy taste in clothing, and ends up being really nice brands. That's the way that I've learned a lot of really nice new brands. Men's belt and newer like new or vintage sell like crazy. I sold like 40 of them in 2 months. If you can get your hands on them, ASP only like 15 to 20, but sell good for inventory. This is interesting because I've been kind of trying to keep an eye out on belts as well as ties because I'm out of space. So I'm like, what's going to sell well, even if it's $15 or $20? But if I can put 4 belts in the same place as 1 pair of jeans, that's $80 instead of $20 for 1 pair of jeans. I'm going to make more money, right? So that's good to know. Sarah, let us know what brands, or I'm assuming 100% leather you're looking for, but what kind of things you're looking at. Duncan, you and your pizza. Husband's working on dinner right now, so I don't know what he's making. So what's the advantage of sharing your items to Pinterest and Facebook? Duncan knows the answer to this question. So he could have just used it as a tip. Doesn't count as a question because I am doing Instagram questions first. This is sharing your items to Pinterest or Facebook gets another set of eyes to it. If you guys don't know, Pinterest is one of the leading search engines. If you notice, even in Google, when you Google something, oftentimes the first photos or one of the first few photos is a Pinterest post, and then that Pinterest post takes you to where the actual item is. So even if you don't Pinterest, even if you're not Pinteresty and you don't have boards, and set up a Pinterest on Poshmark and on eBay, you can quickly send your items to Pinterest and it gets another set of eyes on your items. I send my items, I list 12 items every single day. Except for on the weekends, I send my items to Pinterest every single day. Poshmark automatically does it. You can like click a little thing. I don't do it to Facebook because I don't want to you can't set up your business, and even my business, I don't want to be floodgating people on my Facebook pages. So I don't do it to Facebook. It probably will also help you out. But I use my Facebook. I do use my Facebook socially. I do have a business Facebook and then obviously my personal Facebook socially. And so I don't want to inundate it with 12 new items I listed every single day. Johnny was, let's see, if you guys are just joining, I am doing a free dashboard to the best sale of the week. So let us know what your sale is, and I will give a dashboard away at the end of the call. Yay, Johnny was found it here once here in Midwest, paid 25 cents at a community thrift and sold one day for $80 best offer. Love it. It is actually, no, that's a lie. It's not my first time finding Johnny was, but it's not frequent to me. Baby shoes. Oh, baby shoes. Ginger Marvin, Kathy, I have been doing more kids items because they take up less space. I sold a pair of I love selling box. Big box, like kid-sized box, take up a lot of space, and they're really expensive to ship because they're heavy. But I sold, a cute little baby pair, of box, got them at the bin, so they didn't weigh much, took up, a itty-bitty tiny space, and sold them for $25 in like a week on eBay. So definitely Kathy. You guys can follow Kathy to check out what she's buying and what's sold to learn what baby shoes are selling. If you want to give us a little bit of hints or some brands that you kind of look for, things that you look for, let us know. They are small and usually sell $20 or $30 and can be found pretty cheap. I still don't know where you get that Pinterest tip. That was Duncan. This is true. So I could set up another page that wasn't connected to me at all to send them over to. Oh, and they paid. Y'all, that is one reason that I do like using eBay coupons. Pretty sure they did a coupon on that. And then they have to pay right away. Apparently, we're supposed to be getting offers must pay right away by the end of the year. I've heard it's in beta. Hopefully, we all get it by the end. What are your favorite brands to resell? Johnny was. We'll just say that right now because it just sold very quickly and high. I sell things that make money. People have asked me this, like, what do you like to pick? What do you like to pick? What do you like to buy? I like to buy things that sell. I use my data to follow that. And it's going to depend. Like a lot of the brands that I'm going to share it with you guys in a minute, but a lot of the things that I'm getting at thrift stores are not necessarily things that you can find. Kathy probably can because she's in Colorado as well. But we're an active state. I see Patagonia, the North Face, Columbia, Sorels, that kind of stuff. I see that all the time. It's like a dime or dozen. I can buy that because I see it. I think I've seen Lily Pulitzer like 4 times because we don't get that here. So it's going to depend on what you have there. We're going to look at a year worth of data. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I'm looking at it. Let me show it so you guys can see it. Let me know in the comments because when I go off of this screen, like right now, you guys can see this and I'm looking at. When I go off of this screen, let me know in the comments, make sure you can see what I'm looking at. So we are looking at for the entire year. I'm just going to read to you my top brands. So these are my highest gross revenue brands. I have made the most gross revenue on these brands in the past year. Free People, Rebecca Taylor, those are both palette items. You can see here, Free People, I'm steering away from this. It's easy to get it from a palette. It's not, I have a large circle and it's on the lower end, which means it's a lower average sale price and a lower sell-through rate, not the best. Columbia is all, it's not some new with tags, some palette, but most of it is going to be thrift store and the bins. And you can see here, it's one of my top sellers. And I say that because the average sale price is $36. The sell-through rate for the entire year, 83% of the Columbia that I have purchased has sold for $36. That's pretty legit, guys. Like, I will pick up Columbia all day, every day. It is going to matter what you're purchasing. Most of the Columbia I'm picking up are snow boots, snow jackets, snow pants. The other things are going to, even a Columbia fleece is going to sell for like $10, 15, maybe depending on condition. The shorts, I very rarely will I pick that up unless it's like new with tags or like new. Some of the Columbia, I think you can see what year it was made. So if it was like last year's, I would probably pick it up Nike, guys. Nike is still pretty lit. I have been working on not picking up all the Nike that I see. You can see here it's one of my lower sell-through rates. So right here we have sell-through rate on average sale price. The lower it is down, it's going to be a lower sell-through rate. I mean, it's still a 65% sell-through rate, still good. 65% of the Nike that I've purchased has sold. Average sale price of $24, which is pretty low for me. My average sale price, you can scroll up here and see my average sale price for the year is $34. So that is lower. I'm being more cautious in not buying every Nike that I see. I'm doing a lot of bras because they don't take up a lot of space. They only sell for $12 or $15, but they sell. So we'll see. Theory, that is all like 99.9% is going to be new with tags from a palette. I don't buy that used a lot. Ideology, that is all new with tags. That's selling 73%, but it's an average sale price. This is brand new with tags. Average sale price is $17. I would not buy that at a thrift store. Coach. A lot of people say Coach is not a good seller. I like selling Coach. It's going to be, this is purses, some shoes, mainly purses. Sell-through rate, 68% of the Coach I purchased in the past year has sold for an average sale price of $60. Make sure to watch my what sold videos because that is going to tell you what Coach I pick up because I don't pick up all Coach. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Okay, we can see it. No one said you can't, so I'm going to still keep talking. Then we have the North Face. This is a mix of new with tags from a palette and with like thrifted items. So that's going to drive up the price a little bit. That's Eileen Fisher. 78% of the North Face has sold. Average sale price of $37. The North Face, let me know what you guys think. The North Face is kind of declining as far as average sale price goes and how quick you can flip it. I'm noticing it's not really as trendy and lit as it used to be, but it still definitely sells. Rag and Bone, that's the majority, is going to also be thrifted and new with tags. So keep that in mind when we're looking at average sale price. $70 average sale price. That's being driven up because a lot of it is new with tags. Calvin Klein, that is all new with tags. I don't, very rarely will I buy Calvin Klein. So new with tags, Calvin Klein, within most of what I buy on pallets is store stock. So within the past year, probably a $24 average sale price. I wouldn't buy that thrifted. ATM is going to be pallet. Sanctuary is also going to be a pallet. That is going to be lower. That's Ideology. Sanctuary is all the way down here. Lower average sale price, lower sell-through rate. That just comes with the palette. If you guys watch me, you have heard me say this, but when you buy a palette, even though I buy manifested palettes, they throw in the Sanctuary, they throw in the Ideology, they throw in the Calvin Klein with the Rag and Bone, right? So some of that I wouldn't buy by itself. It does sell. I'm making money off of it. Rails, Rebecca Taylor, Uggs. Uggs, I'm definitely noticing is coming down. But let's see. Where is it? It's over here. Uggs. 73% of the Uggs that I'm selling are selling for an average sale price of $43. So still selling. Michael Kors is all purses. I don't sell, and some new with tags, liquidation palette. Eileen Fisher, majority of that is also going to be from a palette. I don't know Eileen Fisher well enough to know what is really selling. I'm trying, but what I buy from the thrift store does not sell very well. So if you guys are Eileen Fisher gurus, let me know. Velvet by Graham and Spencer, that is also going to be thrifted. Lies palette. So that's going to drive up the price as well. Obviously, my profit's going to be a little bit lower because the cost of goods is higher. Marmot, this is going to be Velvet Graham. 100% of that has sold. Marmot's over here somewhere. I don't know. It's a blue dot. But Marmot is all thrifted, I think, or bins as well. And then Under Armour is going to be all a pallet. I would not purchase that thrifted or from the bins. So those are brands I like to sell because they make me money. Items that I have a hard time brands that I have a hard time not passing on don't necessarily make me the highest gross revenue because I don't see them a lot. Burberry, 100% sell-through rate. Love selling Burberry. Find it very rarely. Patagonia, I like selling Patagonia. I don't find it as often as Columbia or the North Face. Patagonia has a buyback program, if you guys didn't know, where they will buy your stuff back and then you can get credit towards them. And I find that, and they also have a program, I think, where they will like repair for you. Most people who have Patagonia keep it for a long, long time. So I don't see it as often. And then other ones that didn't necessarily make this, they are bread and butter brands that I like to sell: American Eagle, J. Crew, and Banana Republic. And the main reason I like selling these brands is you can look on the tag and it tells you what date it was made, which is really good if you don't know trends, you don't know styles, you don't keep up with it. I can look at a tag and say, hey, this was made last year. It's likely going to sell pretty well. So those are the reasons I like selling those. American Eagle, strictly jeans, maybe a couple other things here and there. All right, let's see. Bras and baby clothes from the bins are amazing, and no one else looks at the kids' clothes. Last Denver bins trip the other day, I found Kiki pants and pink chicken and tons of kids Patagonia. Yeah, I'll pick up kids Patagonia, hands down. And kids winter jackets, like kids Columbia winter boots and stuff. I need to maybe learn kids. I saw Kathy sold a pair of mini Bowden pants that the 5 resellers actually gave her at our bins trip for like $40. So definitely that. Ginger Marvin saying best kids shoes are selling for 20 plus are Sorel, Keen, Play, Nike, North Face snow boots, Kamik, Bogs, Uggs, saltwater sandals, Vans, Crocs, Hunter boots, Converse, Livy and Lucia, Mini Melissa, and Jordans. So all of these I do pick up with the exception of Livy and Lucia. I don't know that one. But the rest of them, as long as they're in good shape, I definitely will pick up. I will say they don't take up that low space. Like a lot of those winter boots, Boggs winter boots take up a lot of space. Kamik's, that is definitely brand. If you guys see that, I consistently will sell Kamik's. It's maybe I'm saying it wrong, but it's kids winter boots. I mean, they probably sell better than some of the other winter brands. I don't know. Kathy, what do you think? I have sold in the past baby Nike very quickly for $30 that I paid a dollar for at the garage sale about 5 times. Western and golf belts. I had a couple Luchis and Tony Lama and Justin boot brands and then Corkhorn Davis, Cohart, and I don't know these brands, is huge, but yes, leather is better. Okay. And at the bins, they don't cost much. They don't weigh much. So that's kind of why I'm trying out some new things, because they don't weigh much. I can get home and kind of see how they do. The Columbia titanium pants sell for me easy, $30 to $45. Again, Kathy is giving us some more brands. Guys, you have to follow Kathy because her knowledge is just astounding. The hauls that she does and the what sold videos, so much that you can learn from that. Basically anything that is popular for kids, adult shoes, the kids do well as well. So it's definitely what I think I probably already pick up most of that as well. Smash the like button. Thank you so much. I mainly do palettes new with tags, men's and clothing, as well as shoes. Coach does awful for me. So I've heard that, and not all Coach sells the same. So make sure to watch my what sold videos, or I'm doing like what sold reels, or sometimes I'll share in my stories. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I share a lot of tips and tricks on my Instagram because it's just things that are happening throughout the day. Hey, here's what sold for me. I do a couple screenshots. Here's what I'm working on right now. Not necessarily like planned content. So especially as I do less social media in December, follow me on Instagram for that. But it depends. I don't buy all Coach. So definitely check out some of my what sold to see. Ginger Marvin, I watched a video you mentioned about kids brands that also have adult sizes. I started looking for those kids brands. Thanks for the tip. Yes, Michael Kors handbags. That's all I pick up. Sometimes like a jacket will sell for me, but that's mainly what I pick up. All right. Hopefully we get to all these questions. Great one. At what point should you consider hiring a CPA? Is that a one-time cost or a monthly fee? I say right away. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it is absolutely worth it for the peace of mind, for the time savings. And so for me personally, every CPA probably charges differently. It's a one-time fee for him to do your taxes. And then it might add up if you ask a lot of questions, but probably 2 or 3 times a year. And like, hey, what should I do about this? Or, hey, I'm considering adding this part of my business. How would that impact my taxes? And every time I do, he answers and doesn't charge. Some may, but to me alone, it's worth it just for that, because I can have an expert who's going to tell me, hey, if you add this to your business, here's your financial impacts from your tax perspective. From a tax perspective, the first year that I did it, I filed taxes on my own. I did like a TurboTax to see what I would get, and then I had him do it. He saved me more money than it cost me to pay him. So I actually ended up making money because of the time saving, or because of the money savings that he was able to find for me, as well as the hours and frustrations that I got back. They know the rules. The rules change every single year. They know the rules. They are meant to be kept, they are kept update. And he'll even say, "Hey, Sarah, like, here's a new rule, how it's going to impact you. Maybe you want to consider doing this, or here's how this is going to play out. Maybe you want to, put some more money in your retirement, blah, 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 blah." Things that you would never even know without having it. I say, hire one. I'm a huge fan. And they know the expertise. You're not going to get, audited. You could get audited. Like, you can always get audited, but you're going to be in a much better place if you have an expert do it. And the time and frustration alone that you are saving yourself is like beyond worth it for me. Next question. Do you have a hard time wanting to keep things for yourself? Let me know in the comments. So, of course. Yeah, absolutely. But this is kind of twofold. So the things, and if you guys follow my stories on Instagram, and here too, I say the things that I have a hard time with are like right here. Right here. Where is it? That's a North Face jacket right there. The North Face in my size, Lululemon in my size, Athleta in my size, things of that nature in my size. Yes, I absolutely have a hard time keeping them. However, I do have a rule with my closet, and I've had this forever. I'm like anti-hoarder, even though, it kind of looks like it, but this is organized chaos, and I'll get into that in a minute. I have a rule in my closet. I only have so many hangers. So if I purchase something new, it means I get rid of something old. So that does help me decide, hey, should I take it or not? And for the most part, I like money, right? Like, this is a business. I like making money, with the exception of some of those brands that I normally would buy for myself. And it's essentially saving me money because I'm not buying it. I would prefer to sell it. I would prefer to make them money. I live in workout gear for the most part. I am trying to get dressed a little bit more, just, for the fun of it and the spirit of it. I'm sharing it like on my Instagram stories. Here's my thrifted outfit of the day. I'm kind of curious how long I can go doing a thrifted outfit of the day. Probably forever, because like 99% of my closet is thrifted. Total side note. But it is hard to not keep it. Rule of thumb, don't try it on because you're going to want to keep it. And to me, it's about money. Like, I bought this to make money. I'm going to sell it. But yes, there are a couple of brands that if they're my size, I will keep them. Nice thing about reselling though is I wear it a couple times and I don't like it, I just sell it. Utah Bought and Gone. If you guys do not follow him on Instagram, I think he does have a YouTube as well. Such a wealth of knowledge, not just in reselling, but kind of becoming financially independent and having this freedom. But CPAs are the best, hands down, absolutely. Even without a business, it's worth it to me. Tips for new sellers: pay yourself a wage from the profits. I go back and forth on this. So last year, at the beginning of the year, where are we? The beginning of this year. And then last year, if you guys followed me, I was growing. I was doing gangbusters. I went from like $2,000 a month gross revenue to $10,000 gross revenue a month in 6 months. I didn't get paid. Honestly, I took a little bit here and there, but any profit that I made, I put back into my business. I was buying shelves. I was buying bins. I was buying more inventory. I was growing. And so if you're going to be growing that quickly and that fast, or just growing, it takes money to grow. The nice thing about reselling is we can start with literally $0, take items from your closet, sell them, take that money, go to the bins, find stuff and sell it, and slowly build up. I started with $0. I didn't have to go take out a bank loan or anything, but there were quite a few months that I did not make money because I was working on growing my business. But I was okay with that because I had a plan. I knew that I wanted to get to this point, and now I'm at the point where I can maintain this $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 gross revenue, and the money that I'm making is legit. If I went slower, I would not be to that point right now. So that's just me. Let's see. Take some time to sell, but the right brands sell quick and they don't take up too much room. Okay, a couple more questions. When buying from a thrift store, how much do you want to sell an item for? 2 times, 10 times, etc. So I look at the profit. I don't look at the margins. When I look at the whole and I'm looking at my P&L, you guys see, my profit and loss and my financial statements. Yeah, keep an eye on your margins. But here's the reason, because our cost of goods can be so low. If I buy something at the bins for $1, I don't want to make double the money. I'd be making a couple bucks. I'd probably be losing money because I pay a VA, right? I don't want to make 2 times the amount. If I buy something for $50, okay, 2 times that amount, I would be okay with. So I don't look at it from I want to double my money. I want to triple my money. I don't look at it that way. I look at it, I want to make between $20 and $25 profit. So that means if I'm at the bins, I can sell it for a little bit less because it doesn't cost me as much. If I'm buying liquidation, it means I'm going to have to sell it for a little bit higher to be able to make between that $20 and $25 profit. And y'all know me, I'm a numbers person. This is not just a number picked out of thin air. This is a number based off of how much I want to make hourly. And I talk about this in my course, how to figure this out for you. Instead of saying, hey, I want to make $15 average sale price and $10 profit. Okay, why? And how long does it take you to list that? Because if it takes someone, let me say this the right way. If it takes you 2 hours to list 4 items, and you're selling them for $10, and someone can list 3 times the amount and selling for the same price, they're making more money. So there's a lot that goes in behind the scenes that allows you to figure out, that is dependent on how much money that you want to make. It's not just as simple, I want to double my money. At least for me, I work backwards. I say, this is the amount of money that I want to make. My dashboard does it. If you guys are new to the channel, I will show you. The dashboard will tell you a little bit of this. And then my course goes into how do you figure this out for your hourly. But you can say, hey, my goal is I want to make $10,000 gross revenue. I need to sell 287 to 262 items at this average sale price. This is around my average sale price. It's based off of my data. If your average sale price is $15, it's going to break down these numbers for you and tell you exactly how many active listings that you need to have. From there, I work backwards and say, hey, this is how much time it takes me. I'm working 10 hours a week. This is how much money I'm making. And you guys will see in my profit and loss statement, that's why I break it down to an hourly rate. Is this worth my time? Am I making money doing this? Is it the money that I want to be making? And right now I'm making, on a net revenue, I'm making around $50 an hour. Yes, that is worth my time for me. So long answer for that. But to me, it's not, and let me know how you guys decide, but to me, it's much more complex than that. Like I said, in my courses, I go deep into how to figure out how to, what's the right word? How to use your time wisely, how to give yourself an hourly, I can't think of the right word. I've been talking straight for an hour. But in my courses, I talk to you about how to figure out, go a little bit deeper to make sure that the money is worth it for you. All right, this is the last question that I have from Instagram. We are almost out of time, but if you guys do have Q&As here, if you do have questions, definitely drop them now. If you're watching this in the recording, definitely feel free to leave them down in the comments and I will come back and answer them, or send me a DM on Instagram. Last question is, how much inventory do you have that you haven't photographed or listed? So we were talking a little bit about this in the beginning with Kathy, talking about my banking concept. It is absolutely how I took last week off and continued to have consistent sales. I have backstock. This all right here, all of this, not in the tubs. The tubs is listed, but everything that's out is backstock. It's not a death pile because it is organized. You can see, sorry, I'm backwards, guys. You can see, here we go. The little post-it notes, it has cost of goods associated with it. It has SKU numbers. It is organized. This is clothing. This is purses. Hold on. Let me turn around. This is shoes. This is purses. This is clothing. Everything is organized and ready to go. I probably have about a month's worth of inventory. This allowed me to take last week off. I didn't source that all last week. I had some time on Saturday. I went to my backstock. I took 70 photos in 2 hours. I'm still listing consistently because I have this backstock. Now, this works if you can be diligent and if you can continue and you can stay on top of it. If this turns into a death pile, then it's not working. You will see this is consistently turning over in its new inventory. So I have about a month worth of backstock that I can take photos of. Anytime that I'm ready to take photos, it is cleaned, it is organized, it is ready to go for batch work. So I can boom, take photos when I have time. And then another thing is I have 3 weeks worth of photos that are already taken that are ready to send to my VA. So I essentially have, what is that, 7-ish weeks worth of items that if something were to happen, I could still continue to list without sourcing for 7 weeks. This is not going to work for everybody. Some people may get overwhelmed. Some people, it's not going to work for everybody. It works for me and it helps me stay consistent because like I said in the beginning, I kind of moved away from thinking about it as each item to thinking about it as an hourly job or a job that I'm going to. I'm going to work 10 hours this week. I'm going to spend 2 hours doing photos. I'm going to spend 2 hours doing clothes or doing sourcing. And I'm going to spend 2 hours listing offers, shipping, or whatever it is. It allows me to have good sourcing days where you get 150 items and those weeks when you only have 25 items and not have to pick up items that aren't necessarily that I want to sell. It allows me to still stay consistent, list 12 items every single day. I have listed every single day for over 18 months. I'm a mom of 3 children. I remote taught them last year. And I listed consistently every single day because I have items ready to go. I have photos ready to go. I do this banking concept. So yeah, that's the answer to the question. I have about a month's worth of inventory, but it's not, to me, it's not a death pile. It is backstock. It is ready to be listed. Whew. All right. If anyone has any questions, otherwise, I think we will go ahead and sign off. We have to do the dashboard giveaway as well. So I guess I'll pick. Yeah, let me pick what my favorite one was. Let's see. Let's drop into the comments. I don't have much problem keeping for myself, but I only wear like 10 things on rotation. I also try not to sell too much of my size stuff because I'm a smaller size and larger sizes do better for me. The biggest things is athletic wear because that's what I wear most of the time. And I work out and I like to be comfortable and I like those, like there's certain brands that I just really like. And so I will keep them for me. And I have a problem with jackets and vests. Like I, I have a lot of them. And it's really hard to say no to those for me. Nice ones. Does taking a day off affect your eBay store? And what would happen if I run of room for my inventory? Should I wait until some items sell or look for storage? So great question. I think I kind of went over a little bit of this in my previous rant, but taking a day off in the sense of not listing, not having sales, and Duncan pop in, right? Anyone pop in, but Duncan definitely, he has helped me a lot in eBay. It's going to impact it a little bit. eBay likes seeing consistent sales, likes seeing consistency, consistent sales, consistent listing. So a day here and there probably is not going to kill you. We're all allowed vacation. But getting ahead for me is how I take days off. Like I listed last week. I spent 10 minutes in the morning. The drafts were ready. I previewed them and hit list and took time off. So getting ahead is how that's allowed me to take time off. A day here and there, no. But if you're not consistent on eBay, eBay is going to see that and they're going to give preference to sellers who are consistent because buyers want consistency. What would happen if I run out of room for my inventory? Should I wait until some items sell or look for storage? I mean, honestly, that's a numbers game and it depends on what you're doing. For me personally, storage is not an option. I have run out of space. I kind of found a little bit more space for like 2 or 3 more bins today, got a little creative. I have run out of space. For me, a storage bin is not an option because I work from home to be with my children. I don't have it's not in my business model right now to leave the house to go to work. That's why I started this business. So that's completely out for me. So that's going to be a consideration for you as well. But you have to look at the numbers. Is it worth it? Are you making enough money to spend hundreds of dollars a month on a storage unit? Are you going to make that much money increasing your inventory? If you have more space, you're going to have more inventory. Is that going to pay for the storage unit? And those are numbers that you're going to have to look at and things that you're going to have to consider. I go a lot into increasing inventory. If you're not keeping your sell-through rate consistent, there's a problem. So look at that. Look at how much money you are making. It's all a number. I'm going to say it's a numbers game, but that's how I would figure it out. I talk about this in the course, how to figure out when to pay for things, when to pay for a virtual assistant, when to pay for storage. If you're doing all of this work and you're just paying all these expenses and not making money, it may not be worth it. You may not be in a position yet in your business to be able to pay for storage. Or you may have to do something where, like I did for a couple months, and not make any money in order to increase your business and get to that place. I would make sure that your items are selling consistently and that you have good metrics for what it is before you start increasing. If you're have items now that are not selling and then you just add more of those same items and get a bigger space, you're not going to be making more money. Death piles. I have hundreds of things that need listed and none in my bank, not photographed or inventoried yet. I could consistently list 10 per day for a year without sourcing probably. Oh my God. That's one of my hardest things is sourcing, really. It's taken me quite a few months to get to this point where I am. And if I have empty shelves, I start to feel anxious now because like last week, I took last week off and I was able to do that. Or my kid the week before my kid got sick and there was 2 days that I was out of work. So if I was only listing what I was able to sell, those are 2 days I wouldn't have been listing because I wouldn't have been able to go shopping. And then the weeks when I have more time, then I just get ahead. You can have a day off on eBay. The best thing to do is schedule items to go live on your day off. Right. And that's what I do. I don't schedule because I don't want to pay for it, but I have a day off. I just list, I have the drafts ready to go. Utah bought and gone. Yeah, I should list every day and only list about 4 days a week. From what I've heard too in the community from a lot of full-time resellers is eBay likes consistency, and if that's your consistent, then I think they kind of catch on. And I think the bigger consistency that they like is sales. If you're consistently making sales, I think that's good because I've heard people that are, they list once a week, but they list like 100 items a week and they consistently do that and they're making consistent daily sales, right? And that's why like a day off here and there, I don't think would be a huge downside, but I think eBay will catch on. And that's something that's hard to not be like, oh, I'll take a day off and then I'll take another. Like if you have that kind of self-control, to only do it. But that's why I like to list consistently so I don't have to worry about it. Thank you. Where can I find links to your courses? They should be linked down in the description. It is here. I'll put it in the comments. It is shop. Oh, that didn't come through. It's sarahstylesllc.com. It should be linked down below. If you use Sarah Styles LLC 2, I think it should give you a discount as well. If that doesn't work, send me a DM on Instagram because I may have said there may not be an LLC there. Let's see. Do you consider a sell-through rate when you decide what to pick up for resale? Great question. Do you look at available versus sold, or do you use an app for that? If so, can you recommend? It's a great question. I do consider sell-through rate, definitely. So I will pick up, I try and shoot, like I said, that profit. I try and shoot for like a $20, $25 profit. I will go less than that if it has a very good sell-through rate. If I know it's like a guaranteed sell or a quick sell, because that money is going to make me more money, right? If I sell something, let's say it only sells at $15, I only make $10 on it. But if I sell that in 2 weeks, that $10, I can go buy 10 more things at the bins. Those 10 things can turn in or sell for $10. That now gives me $100, right? I think that was the right math. Quick math in my head. But right, if I can turn it over quickly, use that money to go buy more stuff and make more money. Also, I don't have a ton of space, guys. Is something in and out of my inventory. I really do appreciate that. So I definitely look at sell-through rate most of the stuff that I pick up, I'd say like 85% of what I'm picking up right now are things that I already know. And so I already know kind of the sell through rate of it. Like American Eagle jeans, I know on eBay they have like a 30% sell through rate, which for women's clothing is like astronomical. So most of the stuff I do. As far as apps to look up, they used to have the app completely, and it linked to eBay solds, I think. It's gone. I never heard what happened, but it stopped working. So what I will do if it's something that I don't know is I will go into eBay. I will look it up. I will look at available versus sold. Something you have to consider when you're looking at the sell-through rate, and I see a lot of people not doing this, is your sell-through rate is how many have sold out of how many are available. The items that have not sold are also part of the available. So you kind of have to do that quick math in your head. They have said eBay Terapeak is coming out mobile, and then you'll be able to quickly look at the sell-through rate. If it's something that you see a lot, you can go into Terapeak. I have an eBay tutorial playlist that has how to use Terapeak data in it. It's something that you can go in like American, or if there's like a brand and you're like, okay, I see Prana all the time. These Prana leggings, I see them all the time. I may research it a little bit before I go to see if it's something. Unfortunately, let me know what you guys think. I don't look up a lot of comps anymore. I mean, I used to hate when resellers said this because not everyone is at that place. But I'm at a place where I'm seeing a lot of the same items and I know what I'm comfortable with. I will look up comps on things that I'm trying to learn or new things. But it's time consuming. I don't have a lot of time to source. So I don't always look up comps. I do wish there was a good mobile app. I'm not aware of any. I know like Sellhound you can do on the computer, eBay Terapeak I like. The other issue that I have is a lot of our thrift stores, because the resellers have kind of blocked the internet. So you can't always look up comps in the store because you don't have access to your phone. So I hope that was helpful. If people do have apps that they use, let us know in the comments. That's my problem. I have 4 storage units. I mean, if you're making money, like it's not a problem if you're making money on top of paying for it. But I think too often in our community, it's like, oh, you just have to list more and more and more. And the more you have available, the more you're going to make, which is true, but it doesn't mean that you're actually making money. It means you're selling more, but it also means you're paying more, right? So that's why I like to share that profit and loss. How much are you actually bringing home? Because that's what matters. I mean, I could buy an item for $1 and sell it for $1 and be like, look, I'm selling all of this stuff. But if I'm paying the same amount that I'm selling, I'm kind of just wasting my time. When you're in a niche, it's easier, you know what is worth it. Yes, right. And so that's part of why I stay in women's clothing, shoes, and purses is it takes me less time to source because I'm not trying to look up comps and figure things out. I have a question. Has anyone else's listing been mixed up? I got an order 2 days ago that was supposed to be shipped priority large box, but for some reason the buyer was able to pick priority envelope. Oh, that's weird. I haven't had that, but Duncan was saying that there were some glitches, so that could be one of them. So I went back through and almost all my listings were in different categories. Oh, guess what I'm doing after this? Thank you. I did use Completely for a while and it did disappear for me also. I wish there was another app similar to this one. Yeah, eBay Terapeak said that they are coming out mobile. Hopefully it's soon. So I'm going to call it a day there. My husband has made dinner and I can hear them outside ready to eat. So thank you guys so much. Again, this is not going to happen. No lives next month. I'm taking time with the family. I'm going to do some reels and some YouTube videos and stuff, but just no lives. Oh, I need to pick a dashboard winner. Let's see. There was one I actually really liked. Let me go back and find it. Hold on. Where'd it go? Yes, I like this one. Oh, it's Sarah. She wanted to win. A costume jewelry set. I don't know why this one just really hit it for me because it's not, this is reselling. It's not like some of the other ones are exciting. Like I'm super stoked about my Johnny was, but that's not reselling. That is not the majority of my sales. This is the majority of my sales. A $24 costume jewelry set. You price a little high and you're super stoked to get a full price sale out of it. I don't know a lot about costume jewelry to know, but that seems super exciting to me. So Sarah, send me a DM on Instagram and I will set you up with your free dashboard. Thank you everyone for joining. Do make sure to subscribe if you like content like this. I teach you how to resell. I teach you how to look at your numbers, your analytics, and how to figure out how to make money reselling. You don't have to sell what I sell. You don't have to have access to the same inventory that you have access to. You don't have to have the same business model as me. I show you how to figure out what is going to work for you and what is going to make you money. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and have a good night.